Hello students, welcome to another new class, and now this class we are going to learn about enzyme catalysis, under which we are going to see how these enzymes are acting as catalyst. Okay, so if I ask you to write an essay about these enzymes and their activity and what all reactions they bring about, I think you will write pages and pages essays, because most of the biological science students, you love or you know more about these enzymes. Okay, so under catalysis, this is the second part of the unit, under which we have enzyme catalysis, or we call it as biological catalysis. It has also another name, students, biological catalysis. And under this, first we are going to learn about enzymes, which are also called as biological catalyst. Okay, so I will give some introduction about enzymes and also characteristics of enzymes. Later we will be moving on to the important part of this portion. Okay, so first put the side heading enzyme catalysis or biological catalysis, underline, and under which please write down enzymes or biological catalysts. Underline the side heading. Okay students, written? Okay. So what all you know about the enzymes? They are having complex structures, they are nitrogenous, and also they are produced by living plants and animals. As we all know, this we can write as a first point under enzymes. Okay, so write down students, enzymes are highly complex, nitrogenous organic substances produced by living plants and animals. Okay, next below write down, they have incredible capacity in bringing or in catalyzing many chemical reactions like hydrolysis. They have incredible capacity to bring about many chemical reactions like hydrolysis, oxidation, reduction, etc. and also many biological processes like digestion, biosynthesis, etc. Okay, biosynthesis, etc. Full stop. And also students, they are highly specific in nature, and each enzyme can catalyze a specific reaction. Okay, so now we will quote few examples. Example number 1, urease, spelling urease, which catalyzes hydrolysis of urea but no other reaction. Okay, hydrolysis of urea. Below write down the reaction students. NH2, C double bond O, NH2, or you can write it as CO, NH2, taken twice. This is called as urea. So hydrolysis plus H2O in the presence of urease. You can write here the name of the enzyme, urease, and which breaks down this urea into 2NH3 and CO2. Next one, second example, the enzyme invertase, which can convert sucrose into glucose and fructose, students. We all know that the enzyme invertase can convert sucrose into glucose and fructose, but it fails when it comes to break disaccharide by name maltose. Okay, it is a similar disaccharide maltose. Okay students, you understood now? See, there is an enzyme called invertase which can convert sucrose into glucose and fructose, but the same disaccharide, that is maltose, it fails to break maltose. Okay, so for that another enzyme is used which is called as maltase. So below write down the reaction, C12H22O11 sucrose plus H2O, and the enzyme here which catalyzes this reaction is invertase, converts into glucose and fructose, C6H12O6 plus C6H12O6. Whereas coming to maltose, it is this reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme called as maltase into two molecules of C6H5OH. Okay, so all these you must be knowing, students. Next, third example, zymase, which breaks down glucose or fructose into alcohol. So C6H12O6 catalyzed by zymase. You can write here glucose or fructose, students. So zymase breaks down C6H12O6. It can be glucose or fructose into alcohol. So 2C2H5OH plus 2CO2. So this is a brief introduction about enzymes. Next, coming to characteristics of enzymes. Put the side heading characteristics of enzymes. The first point, students, write down. Enzymes are proteins which act as enormous and effective catalysts, and also they can speed up the reaction by 10 power 20 times. So example for this point, students, the first characteristic of enzyme that the reaction will speed up by 10 power 20 times, okay, when catalyzed by enzymes. So look at the example given here, H2CO3. What is H2CO3, students? It is called as carbonic acid. It breaks down into H2O and CO2 in the presence of an enzyme called as carbonic anhydrase. Okay, so what is the role of this carbonic anhydrase in this breakdown of carbonic H2CO3, that is carbonic acid to carbon dioxide? Okay, look here, where is this carbonic anhydrase present? It is present in the RBC of blood, and it catalyzes the reversible reaction of breaking down of carbonic acid to CO2. Okay, so what is this speciality, or what is the significance of this enzyme? Look here, students, under ideal conditions, even a single molecule of carbonic anhydrase, it is capable of catalyzing the breakdown of as many as 36 million molecules of H2CO3 in 1 minute. How amazing it is, right? Unbelievable. One molecule, single molecule of carbonic anhydrase, students, in 1 minute, it just catalyzes the breakdown of 36 million molecules of H2CO3. Just imagine. Okay. So that is what the significance of carbonic anhydrase, which is used in the breakdown of carbonic acid. Okay. Next, second point, students. They are highly specific in nature, as we have seen in the introduction, and each enzyme catalyzes particular reaction. Okay. They are highly specific in nature, and each enzyme can bring about a particular reaction. Next, third point, all the reactions catalyzed by enzymes, exhibit maximum efficiency at optimum temperature, students. Okay, try to follow this point. All the enzyme catalyzed reactions show maximum efficiency at optimum temperature, and above this temperature, what happens, you know, students? Enzyme gets denatured. What's the meaning of denatured? Do you know what is the meaning of denatured? It means it loses its activity, and below the optimum temperature, the reaction rates will be slow. Next, fourth point, the activity of enzymes is lost in the presence of electrolytes, and also when they are exposed to UV radiation, students. Okay, they lose their activity in the presence of electrolytes and also when they are exposed to UV radiations. Next point, the activity of certain enzymes depends on certain non-protein substances called as coenzymes and each enzyme has one particular coenzyme. Okay, so the activity of the enzymes depends on certain non-proteinous substances called as coenzymes, and for each enzyme there is one particular coenzyme. Okay, next, sixth point, enzyme catalyzed reactions. That means the reactions which are catalyzed by the enzymes, they are more sensitive to the poisons like catalytic poisons like hydrogen cyanide, H2S and CS2, etc. Okay, they are more sensitive to catalytic poisons like HCN, H2S and CS2, etc. Next, seventh point, students, the rates of enzymatic reactions are influenced by pH. The rates of enzyme catalyzed reactions are influenced by pH, and the optimum pH of enzyme reactions which take place in human body will be 7.4, and this the favorable pH range for other enzyme reactions will be 5 to 7, students. Next, point number 8. Point number 8. Students, while learning characteristics of catalyst in the beginning, we have seen only small amount of catalyst is used to bring about an effective rate of reaction, right? So here also the same, a small amount of an enzyme can bring about a particular biological reaction. That is the 8th characteristic point of the enzyme, students. Write down, even small amounts of an enzyme can bring about a particular biological reaction, because there is a reason a typical enzyme can be regenerated million times in just 1 minute. Okay, so this is the reason why we can use, or we say that a tiny amount of enzyme is sufficient to bring about a particular biological reaction. Okay, that is the 8th characteristic, students. So with this we have completed characteristics of enzymes. Okay, so this is very easy for you to learn, and also write down all these 8 points, suppose if this question is asked in your exam. Okay, so moving on to the next important portions, topic, students. This is, I remember every alternate year this question will be asked in the end semester exam. What is this, students? Kinetics of enzyme catalyzed reactions. Okay, ready? So mark it as an important question. So write down, students. So there are 2 steps if we observe the mechanism of this reaction. First one, formation of enzyme substrate complex. Okay, so E is the free enzyme, S is the substrate. So reaction between these two, we get ES, that is the complex, enzyme substrate complex, which is the intermediate. First step, formation of enzyme substrate complex. Below write down, students, E plus S gives ES, that is the fast step of the reaction. So the rate constant for the forward reaction, mark it as K1, and the rate constant for the backward reaction, mark it as K minus 1. Okay. Next, second step, decomposition of the complex. So ES decomposes into product plus enzyme. So P plus E. This is, and the rate constant for this reaction, for this step is K2, students. K2. And in the brackets mention it as the slow step, which is generally the rate determining step of the complete reaction. So below write down, where S is the substrate, E is the free enzyme, P means product, ES means enzyme substrate complex. So below write down, rate of reaction. So this can be written from the slow step, students, which is the rate determining step. So below write down, rate of reaction is equal to K2 into concentration of ES. Okay, so rate of reaction is equal to K2 into concentration of ES Mark this as equation number 1. Equation number 1. So below students, if we observe in the complete reaction from substrate to product, the enzyme is consumed in step 1 and it will be regenerated in step 2. Okay, so this is what we can observe this change in an enzyme catalyzed reaction. Generally, the enzyme will be consumed in the fast step and it will be regenerated in the slow step. Okay, next, below write down. Applying steady state concept for the intermediate ES. ES is the intermediate students. What is it, ma? Enzyme substrate complex. Okay, so steady state concept. Have you ever heard this word steady state concept? Yes, where we have learned kinetics of acid-base catalyzed reactions, kinetics of heterogeneous catalysis. So I will just pause for 1 minute, go back to kinetics of heterogeneous catalysis or kinetics of acid-base catalyzed reactions. There, go and check how we have written this steady state concept for the intermediate. Don't look here and there. Turn back the pages. Have you written first of all in your notebook? Yes. Go back and check. What is this steady state concept? According to this steady state concept, the rate of change in concentration of the intermediate with time will be 0. But how we have written applying this steady state concept? Taking into consideration the above 2 steps. 30 seconds are over. Don't waste your time. I know you are moving here and there restlessly. Okay, now come back to this enzyme catalysis. So we will write the steady state concept for the intermediate ES. Ready? Write down. Rate of change in concentration of ES with time. How to write? d of ES by dt is equal to first step forward reaction, the rate constant K1 into concentration of E into concentration of ES minus the rate constant of the backward reaction K minus 1 into concentration of ES minus K2 into ES concentration is equal to 0. Now we are going to concentrate on this portion. So below you will write K1 into concentration of E into concentration of ES is equal to. So these two, when they come this side, they become plus. They become plus. So K minus 1 into ES concentration plus K2 into ES concentration. Mark this as equation number 2. So below write down. Below we need to write something, students. But what is this EMA? This is free enzyme. So concentration of free enzyme cannot be determined or cannot be measured by an experiment. But there is an equilibrium between the free and bound enzyme. I hope you know the meaning of free enzyme and bound enzyme. Okay, so the equilibrium between this free and bound enzyme is given by an equation called as enzyme conservation equation. So below write down, students. E naught concentration is equal to E concentration plus ES concentration. So till now you know E concentration and ES concentration. So what is this E naught concentration? This is the total enzyme concentration, students. Okay, and it is given by or it is equal to free enzyme concentration plus enzyme substrate concentration. So these two will give us the total enzyme concentration and also it can be measured. Okay, so from that equation we can write E concentration is equal to E naught concentration minus ES concentration. Okay, so from enzyme conservation equation we can determine the free enzyme concentration as or from E naught concentration minus ES concentration. Okay, Below write down students for your information, where E naught concentration is the total enzyme concentration which can be measured, and this E concentration is free enzyme concentration. ES concentration is the bound enzyme concentration or the reactive enzyme concentration. Okay, now below write down students. So now we have the value of E concentration. So this E concentration value we will substitute in equation number 2. So E concentration is how much, ma? E naught concentration minus ES concentration. So look at equation number 2. So we will substitute the value of E concentration here. So K1 into E naught concentration minus ES concentration into S concentration is equal to K minus 1 into ES concentration plus K2 into ES concentration. Once again, students, K1 into E naught concentration minus ES concentration. This is the value of a free enzyme concentration. Okay, into S concentration is equal to the same. Next, below write down. So this into S concentration is one part. So K1 into E naught concentration into S concentration minus next K1 into ES concentration into S concentration. Okay. So now this is divided into two portions is equal to right side same. K minus 1 into ES concentration plus K2 into ES concentration. Okay. Next. So next this step what we are doing, K1 into E naught into S concentration is equal, we will shift this to right side. So when minus comes here it becomes plus. So K1 into ES concentration into S concentration plus K1, K minus 1, ES concentration plus K2 into ES concentration. Now look here students, in all the three parts there is ES. So what we can do? We can take ES concentration common out. So ES concentration into K1 into S concentration plus K minus 1 plus K2. Now bringing ES concentration to left side. So ES concentration is equal to K1 into E naught concentration into S concentration by K minus 1 plus K2 plus K1 into S concentration. Okay, give this equation number 3. Okay, kindly concentrate whether I am giving equation numbers correct or not, ma. Fine. Next, don't simply copy, just try to understand and write down. Now substituting this value of ES concentration in equation 1. Go back and check what is equation number 1. That is rate of reaction is equal to K2 into ES concentration. Okay. Now ES concentration we have in equation number 3. That we are going to substitute in equation number 1. So R, that is rate of reaction, is equal to K2 into ES concentration value, ma. K1, just to copy the equation 3 here. K1 into E naught concentration into S concentration by K minus 1 plus K2 plus K1 into S concentration. Okay, below write down. Dividing numerator and denominator by K1. Okay, dividing numerator and denominator by K1. So this equation we will divide the numerator by K1, denominator by K1. So what do we get, ma? R is equal to numerator K2 into K1 into E naught concentration into S concentration by K1. Denominator K minus 1 plus K2 plus K1 into S concentration by K1. Okay, the numerator will be easy for you. K1 gets cancelled. What remains? K2 into E naught concentration into S concentration. Now coming to the denominator, I will just imagine, okay, this as this in the form of A plus B by C. So just try to understand students, K minus 1 plus K2, if we assume it to be A and K1 into S concentration as B, then this will be A plus B by C, which is equal to how much? A by C plus B by C. Look there in the In the column I have written A plus B by C is equal to A by C plus B by C. So now applying that to this portion, students. So consider this as A. So A plus B by C. So I have written that also for your sake. K minus 1 plus K2 by K1 plus K1 into S concentration by K1. So this we cannot do anything, but here K1 gets cancelled. So what remains, students? K minus 1 plus K2 plus by K1 plus S concentration. So this I am writing directly here. Okay. So is equal R is equal to K2 K1 cancel. So E naught concentration S concentration by this one I am writing here. K minus 1 plus K2 by K1 plus S concentration. So this equation can be simplified as below write down. Therefore R is equal to K2 into E naught concentration into S concentration by Km plus S concentration. Okay. So mark this as equation number 4. Now students, this Km is called as Michaelis-Menten constant, and this equation 4 we call it as Michaelis-Menten's equation. So generally sometimes what happens, this enzyme catalyzed reaction kinetics, they ask you as Michaelis-Menten equation also, students. Then you are supposed to write the same answer. Okay, equation 4 is called as Michaelis-Menten equation. Now this above equation can further be simplified. How? Write down. The above equation can further be simplified. Full stop. Below write down. When the whole enzyme has reacted with the substrate at high concentrations. So whatever enzyme you are adding or you are using in the reaction, if the complete enzyme reacts with the substrate at higher concentrations, what happens? The rate of reaction will be maximum and there will be no free enzyme remaining. Okay. So when the whole enzyme has reacted with the substrate at high concentration, the reaction will have maximum rate and then there will be no free enzyme remaining. Okay, student, that means the enzyme whatever you are using, it is completely reacted with the substrate. Suppose. So now, whole enzyme is equal to ES. Concentration of total enzyme, whole enzyme will be equal to concentration of ES. There is no free enzymes. That means E concentration is not there, students. So directly we can show that total enzyme concentration is equal to ES enzyme concentration. That means the total enzyme is reacted with the substrate and converted into ES concentration. Okay? I mean converted into enzyme substrate complex. Below write down. So E naught concentration is equal to ES concentration. So below write down from equation 1. So in such cases what did we see? The rate of reaction will be maximum. So equation 1 how to write? If such, suppose in this case R max, that is maximum rate of reaction. So this we will show it as V max, which is equal to K2 into E naught. There what did we write in the equation number 1? K2 into ES concentration. But ES concentration here we have E naught concentration. Therefore V max is equal to K2 into E naught concentration. Below write down, students, where V max is the maximum rate of reaction. Therefore equation 4, that is Michaelis-Menten equation, can also be written as below. R is equal to V max into S concentration by Km plus S concentration. Okay. So this is the simplified form of Michaelis-Menten equation. Okay, students, from this we can write down 2 two cases. In the denominator, there are Km plus S concentration. That means we can compare between Km and S concentration. One case Km will be greater, the other case Km will be less than S concentration. Okay, what is Km, students? Michaelis Menten constant. So case 1, when Km is far more greater than S concentration, what happens? S concentration can be neglected in the denominator. So when Km is far more greater than S concentration, so the above equation can be written as R is equal to Vmax into S concentration by Km. So now we are not writing S concentration. Why? Because it is very very less when compared to Km. So if we observe, students, R will be proportional to S concentration, and hence it can be considered as a first order reaction. Okay. Next, case 2. What is case 2? Reverse. Km is far more less than S concentration. Then Km will be neglected. Sorry. R is equal to Vmax into S concentration by S concentration. So S concentration, both will be cancelled. So therefore R will be equal to Vmax, which tells us that in such cases it is a zero order reaction. Finally, write down, students, below if Km is equal to. So one is Km is greater than S, less than S. Suppose if Km is equal to S concentration, then R is equal to Vmax. Look at this equation. R is equal to Vmax into S concentration by Km is equal to S we are supposing. So S concentration plus S concentration. So R is equal to Vmax into S concentration by 2S concentration. These two will be cancelled. So what remains? R is equal to 1 by 2 Vmax. So students, finally we can define Km. Below write down. Hence Km is defined as equal to concentration of S. So just now we have seen if Km is equal to S concentration, right? So Km is defined as equal to concentration of S, at which rate of transformation of product is equal to. So we got R is equal to 1 by 2 Vmax, right? So Km is defined as equal to concentration of S, at which rate of transformation of product is equal to half the maximum rate of reaction at high concentration of S. At high concentration of S. So underline this definition, students. So sometimes you might be asked what is the definition of Km for 1 mark, then you are supposed to write this answer. Okay. So understood now? This is all about kinetics of enzyme catalysis, students. Fine. So today, this class we have learned enzymes, introduction, characteristics of enzymes, and also a very very important question, kinetics of enzyme catalysis. Okay students, this is all for this class. Next class we will meet with a new topic. Until then, take care, stay safe, and bye-bye.